All right, we are talking today about naming and classifying angles. So we know that an angle is formed by two rays with a common endpoint. We call that common endpoint the vertex. The rays are called sides of an angle. We name an angle using three letters or 3 points, right? Because we know the letters really mean points. The middle letter must always represent the vertex. Always. So some examples of this. We have right here angle 1, we could call it, because that's its little number that's inside here by the vertex, right? Is angle 1. We could call it angle ABC, ABC, or we could call it angle CBA, CBA. I do not ever want to see angle CA. Okay, that's nonsense. Don't do it. It's nonsense. Or angle, I don't know, ACB. That's what I'm going to look at you like. Don't do it. We can use a single letter if there's only one angle associated with the vertex. So, for example, there's no other angles here. This is the only angle, so we can call it angle B. That's a very rare instance we can do it, okay? So get used to naming angles with 3 letters. Sometimes we can name it angle B. Sometimes. We can also use a number. So angle 1, if a number is provided. Ooh, I should get rid of that, because that one goes down there. Oops, my bad. Wasn't paying attention to my note key. All right, the next thing. When referring to the measure of an angle, use a lowercase m. All right, use a lowercase m. So we could say the measure of angle ABC equals 60 degrees. So that's how big the angle is. The angle is 60 degrees big. Types of angles. You guys probably already know this. It's talked about a lot in other math classes. We know that from 0 to 90 degrees, not at 90, but up to 90, we have an acute angle, because he's so little and cute. And then when we have exactly a 90-degree angle, we have a right angle. And if I tell you something's a right angle, you know immediately it's 90 degrees, always. Then when we have between 90 and 180 degrees, we have an obtuse angle. And lastly, when we have an angle that is exactly 180 degrees, we have a straight angle. Some of you might look at me and say, wait a minute, isn't a straight angle a line? Yes, but a line is different from an angle, all right? So in this case, when we're talking about defining an angle, it's a straight angle. It looks like a line, it's a straight angle. So let's go over example 1 right here. We want to name the vertex of the angle. Well, we got 3 points, J, K, or L. When we look at them, the bend of the angle is at K. K is our vertex. We want to name the sides of the angle. Well, the sides are KL and KJ. Remember those hats. These are both rays, and their endpoint is at K. So KL with a little arrow towards the L, and KJ. Not LK, not JK. Order matters. Order matters. Give 4 ways to name the angle. Well, they've given us a little number 5 here, so we could call it angle 5. It only has one angle here, so we could call it angle K. All right, we could call it angle K. Or we can use our 3 letters, which I, again, want you to get in the habit of. So that would be angle JKL. Notice that the vertex is in the middle. Or it could be angle LKJ. Doesn't matter which of those 2 ways I name it. It's the same angle. It's the same angle. So we want to classify the angle next. Well, I can see if I look at my pictures up here, it's not a straight angle, it's not a right angle, and it's bigger than this guy. So this is an obtuse angle. Obtuse angle. All right, I want you to try number 2 on your own. Okay, try number 2 on your own. All right, the next thing I want us to talk about is perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines are super important in geometry and in design, actually. We use and we like to look at perpendicular lines. They're pretty. So we know that two lines that intersect at a right angle are perpendicular. All right, they intersect at a right angle. The symbol for perpendicular is this sort of upside down T with a little square in the corner. All right, when you see this square, that means it's a right angle. And we know it's perpendicular. Sometimes you'll see it. No, that's pretty much the only time you'll see it is when it looks like that, because that means it's perpendicular. If you have it drawn like this, we don't know anything. So never do it like that. In the diagram to the right, we have line L is perpendicular to line M. Remember, we use lowercase letters when we're naming lines and using a single letter, right? Lowercase. So let's take a look at example 3 here. We want to write another name for angle CBF. So the easiest way to do this for my brain is to actually put my pencil on those points and to trace the angle. So CBF. That means I could name this one FBC. If you're looking for another name of an angle, the easiest name is to just reverse the letters. And B again is our vertex, it goes in the middle. We want to name the sides of angle EBD. So EBD. Well, we have BD as a ray, and we have BE as a ray. Again, order matters, so make sure that you know where your endpoint is and in what direction the side of that angle is continuing, the ray is continuing. We want to classify angle ABC. ABC. What kind of an angle is that? It is a straight angle. All right, it's a straight angle. We want to give an example of an obtuse angle. Give an example of an obtuse angle. There are many on here to choose from, all right? Off the top of my head, I am going to pick EBC. But you could go with EBD, you could go with ABF. I mean, there's lots on here to choose from, guys, so don't feel like that's the only option. But EBC is the one I'm going to go. Give two examples of acute angles. Two examples of acute angles. Well, I'm looking for small little angles, right? I'm going to pick DBF and FBC. Because I can just see already that's a perfect 90-degree angle, therefore they must be acute because they're smaller than that. Name two lines that are perpendicular to each other. All right, two lines that are perpendicular to each other. Well, we know that this line right here is perpendicular to this one right here. So I'm going to say that AB is perpendicular to BD. This technically can be a line. We could keep it going in this direction, right? Just because it's not drawn doesn't mean it's not there. So it's not improper to name this as a line. I know it's a little weird. All right, there's extra practice on here. Please email me if you have questions.